Hi, my name is Chris McNamara, founder and CEO of Pathway CTM. I'm the host for today's podcast from Build Torbay, where we'll be speaking to Mia, who came through South Devon College. She is a bricklayer, she's self-employed, she does amazing things out on site. She's also an award winner, so listen up to this one if you're interested in getting involved in construction and maybe even bricklaying. Mia, thanks for joining us.
That's okay, thank you.
So Mia, you're from around here, aren't you, Torbay? Whereabouts are you from?
Originally, I was born in Weymouth, so in Dorset, but I've lived in Torbay since I was 11, so it's all down south really, it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, definitely. And so what's your job title, I suppose, at the moment?
Well, I became qualified in May, so fully qualified bricklayer.
Nice.
So self-employed bricklayer, yeah.
In May this year?
Yeah, so recently qualified.
Right, amazing. So let's work backwards. I want to go right from the start, really. So should we start secondary school?
Yeah, well, I was home educated, so from the age of 10, I was home educated. So I didn't go to secondary school, so that was all home education. So I went to college when I was 16, and that's when I sat my GCSEs. So I did that, and then that's when I started the bricklaying course alongside it. So that was City and Guilds level 1 and 2. So I'd done that for 2 years. Alongside with my maths and English. So I did that from 16 to 18, and then 18 to 21 I done my 3-year at bricklaying apprenticeship.
Amazing. And so what made you think bricklaying? Like do you remember, did you wake up one day and just thought I need to be a bricklayer, or how did it work?
Well, originally I wanted to do hairdressing. So I gave that a go, and I don't know, I didn't enjoy it very much. It was just something like, this is a bit boring, really. No offence against hairdressers, obviously. Do an amazing job. But so then I thought, I'll give bricklaying a go. I was literally looking through the South Devon College website at all the courses, and I thought, I'll give it a go. I wasn't 100% sure. I was 16. I didn't know what course I wanted to do. So I thought, maybe try something a bit hands-on, something completely different. And I thought, if I don't like it, I can swap it out and do something else. So yeah, I started it, and then I've just sort of carried on, really. I've not thought about doing anything else. I've just stuck with it, and I've really enjoyed it. So
amazing. Love it. And it's a shame we're not videoing this, because you can tell that you do really enjoy your career, which is nice, because a lot of people don't enjoy their careers.
No, definitely not. I think you've got to do what makes you happy. If you're going to do that for the rest of your life, you sort of have to enjoy it. But there again, you don't always know what you're going to enjoy until you've tried it. So sometimes you just sort of have to trial and test things to see if you actually do like it or not.
So you've been doing it since May?
Yeah, I'm fully qualified since May.
Fully qualified. Yeah. What's the one thing that's the best part about your job?
Best part about my job? I suppose it's the fact that you can literally build a house, like a whole house. I mean, I know you have like chippies, electricians, roofers and stuff like that. But the actual main shell of the house, the whole, from the ground up, like literally from the foundations, so from nothing in the mud all the way up to the roof, you build all of that. So I think that's pretty cool, like the way you can literally just build a whole house. That's just quite amazing. And that, I suppose, being outside is quite nice for a few months of the year, where it's actually not too bad, where it's not freezing or boiling hot, which is only for a few months in the year, but you do climatise to it a bit. But it's definitely better than just being inside all the time, definitely. Yeah,
and Mia, do bricklayers start early, finish early? Is that the method?
Well, usually you get different, every gang's different. So you'll have like a gang of bricklayers, that's what they're called. So you have a few of them in a gang, or you can have a big gang sometimes. So that will usually
So you're in a gang?
Yeah. So then that will usually be a few qualified bricklayers. Then you'll sometimes have an improver, which is someone that's just recently qualified, so they're still learning. So I suppose you could technically say I'm an improver still, because I've just freshly qualified. So I'm still qualified, but I'm still improving, if that makes sense. And then you'll usually get an apprentice or a labourer.
I mean, did you ever think that you'd be joining a gang at the age that you are? I didn't know they were called gangs in bricklayers.
Yeah, so I think, well, I suppose we all start off in a gang, and that was the question, start early, finish early. It's come back to me now. Okay. So yeah, a lot of them do start early. So like the earliest I've started on site is at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm not a morning person. So you sort of have to get used to that. And then finish early, yes, usually. So you'll earn your money, then go home. That's usually the idea of it, because you'll get to learn, okay, if I finish that floor today, like foundation-wise, if I finish the block of beaming, I've earned my money, I can go home. Or sometimes you'll get gangs where they specifically work from 7 in the morning till 4. They won't leave early. So I suppose it's different whoever you work with because you're all self-employed, except for like the apprentices. So you sort of can do what you like, if that makes sense. Or if you just want to go in for a morning, you've got a doctor's appointment, it's quite flexible. So you don't have to work if you don't want to or need to.
So you are your own boss?
Yeah.
And that does have responsibility as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I suppose like with all like the money side of it, you have to make sure you're covering your own money, you left enough money back for all the other kind of stuff that you need to pay, like national insurance, blah, blah, blah. Get your accounts sorted at the end of the year. There's no sick pay, no holiday pay. It's like the 2 weeks where sites closed over Christmas. You're not getting anything unless you're doing private work. But I'm mostly on site, so...
That sounds quite daunting, all the self-employed stuff. Does South Devon College help you with that?
Through my apprenticeship, they helped me understand my options. Yeah. So about 98% of bricklayers, I want to say, are self-employed. Wow. Because that's mostly the route you go down. So you become self-employed, you become a subcontractor. So you have the contractor above you who finds the work usually, and then you go there, you do the work, you're self-employed. You can occasionally, I've heard of some bricklayers that are employed, so it's usually like general building and things, like smaller companies where you can be employed. But yeah, I think having talks with the college, they sort of answered any questions and queries I had about it. Because obviously it's quite daunting going from being an apprentice. Like you get paid all the time, whether you're off sick, on holiday. If it rains and you have to go home, you obviously have to get paid because you're employed and it's beyond your control. To go in from, if you're on site, the forklift breaks down, you can't get muck, blocks, bricks. You have no choice, you've got to go home. And that's it, you're not earning any money that day and you can't recoup it. So, I mean, I've got a second job anyway, so that sort of helps out a little bit with that. So I do cleaning in the evenings at South Devon College. So I've done that since I was 17. So I've sort of had that alongside with it. So that's helped me a little bit. So if I can't work one day, I'll sort of pick up more hours doing that. That's how I've managed to balance it a little bit. So
yeah, good on you. Now I heard, I'm not in construction myself, I do admire people who are. I heard that you get paid by each brick you lay. Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah, so you get 2 types of bricklayers usually. So the most common one is price, so that's what it's called. So like if you count up the blocks, bricks, beams, you move, that kind of stuff, it's all got a price on it. So let's say you get, for instance, sometimes you get like £1.40 per block that you lay. Sometimes like bricks, like 60p that you lay per brick. So yeah, it is like that. Or if you're a day rate bricklayer, that means if you turn up, you get paid an hourly rate. So you'll get paid, let's say, £23 an hour. You'll get that whether you lay 10 blocks or no blocks an hour, which obviously you should be laying more than 10 blocks. But yeah, so they're the 2. But usually, yeah, you're right, it is by price. You'll get paid per brick, per block. And it'll be different, like in the ground. So anything that gets covered up, like all the foundations, there's a different price for that compared to everything above DPC, so like the actual house that you see. So there's different prices for everything, for lintels. Yeah, so you get a price for everything, really, yeah.
Wow, it's really interesting. And so in terms of the apprenticeship, what advice would you have for people that might be looking to go to South Devon College and follow in your footsteps? Like, what should they know?
I think you should definitely give it a go. Definitely. It's quite physically hard. That's the thing that I didn't sort of take into consideration. So I thought, oh, it might be a bit hard, but some days literally your whole body's aching and your back and your legs, and yeah, it's quite hard, but I think mentally, if you want it that bad, you will see through that, you'll go through it. But I think you definitely have to give it a go if you're interested. And I think the important thing to remember is you don't have to stick at it if you don't feel like that's the right thing for you, or you could try different avenues of it. So you could always go to more general building side of it. You could try a different trade if that's not exactly what you want to do. But I think, yeah, you definitely have to at least try it, definitely.
And would you maybe be able to talk me through a day in the life of you at college as an apprentice bricklayer, now as a full-time bricklayer? Like how do they differ?
Yeah, so when I was apprentice, I went to college. It was, I think, 1 week every month or so. So in my college week, I do my practical theory side of things, getting ready for my endpoint assessment, which you do, which basically you do before you get qualified. So you have to do a model, portfolio, a professional discussion, all that kind of stuff. So you'll basically practice for that at college. You'll build models in the workshop, and then they'll get marked for gauge, level, plumb, that kind of thing. So that's what I do on my college week. A normal day as an apprentice, you wake up silly o'clock in the morning.
How early?
I was getting up at 5.
Yep.
To get to work. So obviously you could be working in Exmouth. If I'm like, when I was living in Paynton, I could be working in Exmouth. So you've got to sort of take into consideration the commute, because if you want to be there early, start early, that kind of thing. So I'd get up early, get to work, get usually a tub of muck on. That's usually your first job as an apprentice. Get the tub of muck ready from the forklift starts up to bring it over to the plant. Then I'd load out if any loading out needed doing, joint up any work that the bricklayers had done that needed doing. And then I suppose the main thing when you're an apprentice is trying to get some lay-in time, some trial time. So usually I'd get, it differ on the day. Sometimes I'd get maybe half an hour doing bits like actual bricklaying. Other days it would be full days of like laying. So it could really differ. But your main task as an apprentice are to really keep the bricklayers like going with all the materials and things, because if they're not earning money, you're not helping them earn money to cover your money. So that was the main thing. Learning, I suppose, absorbing whatever's going on around you, sort of taking in what everyone else is doing, how they're doing it. And you get taught bits and bobs along the way, like they'll explain to you, I'm doing this because of that. And so there's a lot of that, and then at the end of the day, pretty much wrap everything up, clean up all the tools, and then you go home. So it can really differ day to day. Like I said, you could have a day where you're laying all day. That's usually later on in your apprenticeship, because the first year, you're usually just doing a lot of the labouring work. Or you could just be labouring all day, so it can really quite differ. So yeah, that's usually what my day would be like as an apprentice, yeah.
And then remind me, so you then have an endpoint assessment to then pass and move on?
Yeah, so yeah, for the endpoint assessment, it's after you've reached gateway in your apprenticeship, so you've done all the theory work, you've done your portfolio, you've done all the models you've needed to do through the 3 years, and then when you're at that point, you then go through for your endpoint assessment. I managed to go through a bit early because I managed to complete everything a bit early. So nice. I was the first one to go through in my group. So yeah, I had to do a timed model, which was a cavity wall with a window or a turn on it, and it was a I think it was a 12-degree cut on the windowsill, where you have to do specific cuts and make sure it's at a certain angle. So I had to do that, so that was timed, and then that was checked for level, plumb, and I think the tolerance was 3 millimeters. So if it was out of that, you'd fail it. So wow. You have to be very exact with it. And then I had to do a risk assessment on the job that I was going to do. So the risks involved, how to prevent it, that kind of thing. And yeah, my assessor then was given my portfolio, and I was interviewed on the portfolio and questions related to bricklaying for about an hour. So I had to pass that, so I got a distinction in that and a pass on my model. So I think I overall got a merit for my whole qualification, so that was quite good.
Amazing.
Yeah,
and Mike from South Devon College, he said that you're one of the most talented bricklayers that's ever come through the college. How does that make you feel?
Really happy, to be honest. Yeah, because obviously you go from not learning anything. I didn't know what to do at the trowel. Like when I started, well, that's maybe exaggerating a bit. I didn't know what end of the trowel to hold, but you know what I mean. You go from learning.
I've got no idea what that means.
Yeah. So you don't know anything. Do you know what I mean? You go in there, I was 16. I was one of the only girls there, and it's sort of like, oh, okay. So you sort of feel like you have something to prove straight away. So yeah, Mike's been absolutely amazing from day one. So from when I was a full-time student there for the first 2 years before I did my apprenticeship, I knew Mike. He was helping the apprentices and stuff, but he's always been there to help me, especially through my apprenticeship. He's honestly, he's been amazing. All the teachers at South Devon College have been really, really amazing. They've helped me. They've honestly just moved heaven and earth to help me with anything I needed, helping me find an apprenticeship, helping me with my coursework, helping me feel confident to actually go out into the job that I want to do. So making sure I was fully prepared and ready for that. So yeah, you can't really put a price on it. It's honestly just been amazing. So yeah, you build a quite close bond with them all as well. So I suppose after 5 years, I was quite sad when I left, to be honest.
And now you're back doing podcasts together.
Yeah.
He was on just before you.
Yeah.
And you mentioned there that you were the only woman on the course.
There was another girl, yeah. So one of two. So, but
go for it.
Sorry, yeah. You don't often see it though, especially in the bricklaying. You sometimes see quite a few painters and decorators that are female now, so that's pretty good. A few electricians, but it's very rare you ever see a female bricklayer. Maybe I've just not seen them, but it's like very rare that they go from, especially where I started, then completely finishing it. Like you sometimes get someone that will try it and then they go off and do something else. So I suppose that's quite cool that I've sort of seen it all through. I've gone through the whole student experience through to apprentice, then getting qualified. So that's really cool.
It is pretty cool. You can tell you're a strong woman in what you're doing and a strong person generally. But I just want to dig into this because you've got a bit of a voice here to maybe help other women follow in your footsteps, because less than 10% in the construction industry are female.
Yeah.
And that's something you probably can vouch for. You think that is accurate?
Yeah.
And as a woman in a traditionally male-dominated field, have you faced any unique challenges in your apprenticeship? And I just wonder how have you got through that, and what's it been like?
I suppose physically, like I mentioned before, that could be quite hard, especially if you're a female, because you're naturally not as strong as a man typically. So I suppose that comes into it. There's not always loads of heavy lifting, but there can be days where it's like a lot of heavy lifting. So that can be quite tricky. So you sort of have to navigate the best way for you to do it. So for me, maybe instead of holding 2 blocks at once to load them out, I did 1. I sort of didn't tire myself out too much. I was still getting the job done, but I adapted it so I could do it. So the physical side of it can be quite difficult. I suppose some of the people you run into can be quite challenging. So I've sort of learnt to navigate that a little bit as well, because I used to be quite quiet and timid. I'll sort of come out a little bit more on myself now, because you sort of you have to sort of look after yourself in that sense. I'm not saying like it's a big scary thing and blah blah blah, but when you start, it definitely can be. So I was 18 years old, going out onto a building site, never done that before. So yeah, I think I don't regret it. I really enjoy it. I'm really happy that I've chose this path. But yeah, there wasn't really any female role models for me to look up to doing it that I've like heard of or seen. So it was really sort of going into it and trying to navigate it myself, really.
Yeah, it's great. You should create a social page, get a TikTok account, and be that inspo person. Yeah. My business, Pathway CTM, we are working to help more site managers get into home building. More female site managers, sorry, because only 4% of site managers in construction are female.
You very rarely ever see it, yeah.
Yeah, so it is changing, and you're part of that change. So I think that's exciting.
Yeah, definitely.
But you are a Construction Apprentice Award winner. What is that about? Tell me more.
So I got nominated for Construction Apprentice of the Year 2025.
Wow.
So I think I was. I don't know who nominated me actually. Well, it was obviously the college.
Maybe Mike.
So yeah, maybe Mike. So I think they were just really proud of how far I've come, the individual challenges I've had to sort of face along the way, how I've come out and dealt with that. And just really sort of wanting to make everyone proud, really, because the amount of effort and time they've put into me. So like the college, like I said, I keep saying it, but the college has honestly been amazing with me. So yeah, I'm really. I was really surprised when I won it. Actually, I was a runner-up because there was, I think, 3 of us in the category. So I went there. I was like, I'm not going to win this. And they just said it. I was like, oh, okay. I've got to walk up there now in front of people. But I was really happy with that, and I suppose it's nice to have some sort of recognition for all of my work, because I think you can sort of do things and think that nobody really notices.
Yeah.
But I was really happy to.
Amazing.
to get that award. So yeah.
Yeah, should be proud. Love it. And final question, Mia, is your understanding of Build Torbay.
Yeah.
Like, what have you heard about it? What does it mean to you? And maybe any inspiration for other females out there who might want to follow in your footsteps.
Well, Build Torbay, I've heard of them before, but I've not really looked into it as such. But where I got handed my award on from Build Torbay, obviously I went and had a little look into them. So yeah, I don't know loads, but I am trying to learn a little bit more. So yeah, I'm just still trying to sort of figure out sort of what they do as such.
And it's just basically backing the regeneration across Torbay.
Yeah,
the change that the economy wants to see, changing buildings, bringing new infrastructure in. Surely that'd be quite exciting to get involved with, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a lot of building work going around in Torbay now. A lot more, like I said, remodeling, rebuilding places. So yeah, that will be quite fun to see and hopefully get involved with. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's just it. And then inspiration to you 5 years ago, if they were listening to this podcast, or indeed maybe it doesn't have to be a female, but let's go with that because I think it's empowering. A female who's 28 and maybe wants to change their career. Why should they follow in your footsteps?
I think because at the end of it, you don't have to specifically stick to maybe working on a building site. There's lots of more career paths you can go down. And I think that's the important thing. You can do something, you get a qualification at the end of it. And maybe if you think, you know what, this isn't for me, you have that experience. So you have the experience working on a building site. You could maybe become QS, you become a site manager assistant. You could maybe become a lecturer at the college. You could do general building work. You can have your own company. So a lot can stem from just having that apprenticeship. You don't specifically just have to be a bricklayer all the time. And I think just keep your options open. That's really important, I think. And just stick at it, I think. Because the first year or two can be really tricky on an apprenticeship because you're not always earning amazing money, which is no secret in apprenticeships. You have to work really hard. And I think just try and find a good employer. Just look at the end goal. You're doing it for you, you're not doing it for anyone else. You're going to get that piece of paper which says you're qualified. You can rock up anywhere and say, I'm a fully qualified bricklayer, I can do this. So I think that's what you've got to look towards, the main, the end goal, I think, yeah.
No, I love it, Mia. Thanks so much for spending time with us today. Have you done a podcast before?
No.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, a little bit nervous at the start, but yeah.
Aren't we all? But no, you're really, really good. And I think putting that message out there to more young people who can follow in your footsteps, ultimately you're self-employed, you're here on a Friday, you can pick and choose when you work, and you get well paid for doing so, and you're doing really well. So yeah, it's an inspiring story, and thanks very much.
Oh, thank you very much.
Cool, thanks.
Thank you.